going on, everybody? It's Stephen Howson. This is my Hull City preview, and let's just get straight into it, shall we? Now, Manchester United play Hull City on Saturday against the Premier League's true bald genius, Mickey Phelan. You may laugh, but there might be something in this, because with him as our assistant manager, in 5 years we managed 3 Premier League titles, 2 Champions League finals, and also a World Club Championship as well. So there might be something in Mickey Phelan's genius. Anyway, Hull have only got 12 fit first-team players at the moment, and as good as they've been, they've gone 3-3 this season. I'm certain that run comes to an end sooner rather than later. Actually, rather sooner. Saturday, to be specific. I think while United have looked good, we've not really hit top gear. We've not really needed to, and I don't think we're going to need to be able to overcome Leicester on Saturday. Hull performed really well, and actually against Leicester, when I watched the full 90 minutes of them, they actually out-Leicestered Leicester. They had a great performance, and they actually looked almost comfortable. It was laughable how everyone has completely written them off, and they've just gone, guess what? We're having a fight this year. Now, I don't know how many times the cliche is going to get pulled out this season. The amount of times people are going to say, what about Leicester? You know, when someone says, like I've just said, we're going to smash Hull this week, and people go, but what about Leicester? Look, that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that happened with Leicester. Let's not just pretend that that's going to happen every single week, because it's not. Right then, key man. Now I've had a real think about this, and as much as I've been impressed with Hernandez, Curtis Davies, Snodgrass for Hull, I think the man that's going to really dictate this game is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think Pogba is too, but he was my key man last week, so I'm not going to go for him this week, really. Now, Zlatan has absolutely blown me away. Fitter and quicker than I could have imagined he was, in all honesty. His strength and his height is perfectly suited to this league. Now, I watched a lot of him, obviously before he come to Manchester United, but I'd never really focused on him. Like, if you know what I mean, like, when someone's a transfer target for you, you watch them with a different eye, don't you? You watch their off-the-ball stuff a little bit more. You pay closer attention to them. And he's never really been a transfer target for United, so I've never really looked at him as an individual and thought to myself, what would he do if he was in the Manchester United side? How would he do with us? And he's sort of just, obviously he's quality, but he's always sort of just sat there in the background a little bit. Now, I've been thinking and watching and looking at him, and I think, you know what? Yes, he was always quality, but he's better than I thought. Now, I don't think he is going to play the 50 games, but I do think he's going to play the vast majority. And I think this is evident in our style of play at the moment this season. Look at the way we're employing first-time crosses, direct football, everything going into the box, because he's likely to get something on the end of it. Now, I think this is totally suited to a big number 9, and I think Zlatan is that big number 9. And do you know what? I am absolutely loving seeing him in a Manchester United shirt. Right then, move of the week. Now, I said at the start of the season that I was going to include a move of the week, right? Which I did last week, but then I had to chop it out, and that messed all the sound up because I had a copyright claim from the Premier League. Now, I thought that you could use short clips if they were transformative or educational, even if you didn't own a copyright, which is what the intention of using that clip was. And the clip that I used, the one that I used was one to explain how a ball goes to the back post, normally from the right-hand side, and was going to be knocked down by somebody like Zlatan for someone to get on the end of. And I've shown a couple of angles of that, and the one I've shown was Southampton's previous game against Watford, and I've shown how they hit a ball to the back post, it was nodded down, and for someone to strike in the box. Now, we didn't actually do that move against Saints exactly like that, but it's still a move that I'm going to expect to see us utilise. Now, this week, I have got a move, and it's more of a move of last week than a move that I expect to see us do this week. And the move last week, and I can't figure out ways to show this for you at the moment. I'm going to figure out a way, whether it means I have to get a whiteboard out and draw it on, or if I can figure out if I can use still images or GIFs or something like that. I don't know what I can do at the moment. I'm still trying to figure it out. If anyone knows, please let me know. Now, the move I'm talking about last week was the one where Pogba chipped it into the box. Now, everyone goes, oh yeah, it was a great chip. Loved a bit of skill from Pogba to start it off, but let's go through it from the start. So, it was a chip from Pogba into the box, which Mata flicked on, and then Zlatan tried an overhead kick, didn't he? And it just missed the far post. Now, what I like about that move is the fact that there's 4 players in the box. Mata, Zlatan, Rooney and Marshall, and obviously Pogba on the edge of the box. Shaw actually makes a dummy run down the left-hand side as well, just about the same time as the ball's going in. So you've actually got 6 attacking players at the time. And Valencia's not in shot, so I'm not sure where Valencia is. But I think Valencia was also quite far forward. The weird thing is that Marshall had jibbed over all the way onto the right-hand side as Mata had come across the left. So that's interesting. I didn't actually clock that happening too much when I was watching it live. What I like about the 4 players being in the box is 4 players in the box means options. Options equals better final balls. Better final balls equals more goals. And I'm sure you can figure out the rest of that. Once there's more goals coming in, you're going to win more games. That was my move last week. That's my move for this week. I'm sure we're not going to see the same sort of move again, but I'm thinking Pogba playing final balls into the box where there's already 3 or 4 players is going to be successful. It's going to yield us a lot of goals. Which takes me to the lineup. Now, I want to see 4-3-3, but I feel like I'm wasting my breath a little bit talking about it. So I'm going to go with the same lineup that we've seen so far, but I'm going to bring Mkhitaryan in for Mata. That's not because I'm dropping Mata, just giving minutes to Mkhitaryan. I undenied about going with Mkhitaryan or Lingard, and I'm not sure where Lingard is, and I'm not sure what Mourinho's like, actually, with bringing a player back to full fitness. I'm not sure whether he needs the sort of run-up of 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, note off your mum, 3 golden coins, or whatever it is that Louis van Gaal used to make every single player get. I don't know what Mourinho's like at bringing players back, so we'll have to wait and see on that. So I've just gone, there's a doubt on Lingard, let's go with Mkhitaryan. So I want to see Mkhitaryan brought in. It's time he got a little bit more minutes. I would like to see Rooney dropped, in all honesty, and just see how we do without him and how that changes the flow of us being a counter-attacking side. But we all know he's going to start, don't we? So why fucking argue? So from the back, David De Gea in net, Valencia and Shaw, full-backs, providing the width as usual. Baye and Blind in the middle. I think Smalling will come on again towards the end and get minutes for himself, but I think these two have earned the right to start at the moment, so allow them to start. I'm going to go with Fellaini sitting in ahead of, next to Paul Pogba. I can see the need to change for the same reason I want Mkhitaryan to get minutes as well. Fellaini's been great so far, and this is the sort of game that would suit him, in all honesty. This is away from home. You might have to put a big thumping challenge in every now and then. I think Fellaini will do all right in this game. You just give him that one specific job. Very simple passes. Don't lose the ball. Protect the back 2, really, because the full-backs push on so much, they're almost part of the midfield, aren't they? So, Fellaini, protect the back 2. Stop anything that comes near him. And as Squawker Dave pointed out, dropping back onto Blind and winning the headers for Blind for when teams try and target Blind going up. Good tactical stuff there from Jose Mourinho. I do like that. Obviously, Paul Pogba next to him. Paul Pogba, I expect to be completely box-to-box. I've seen a couple of people demand for him to be number 10. The problem is when you've got Paul Pogba and the pitch is in front of him, you allow him to use that range of passing that he's got, which is phenomenal. You allow him to drift wide and hit some crosses in, which is excellent. You allow him to charge and carry the ball up the pitch, which is something that we've massively lacked. I think Dave mentioned today on the Full-Time Devils preview that we did, he's got the second most dribbles in the Premier League behind Eden Hazard and played 1 game. That's mental for a central midfielder, and that's the sort of thing he can offer. He holds players off, he's combative, he's massive, he's got that run on him, he's got that long-range shot, and I think you sort of take some of his teeth away a little bit when you make him as a number 10. Number 10, now he's got to start looking backwards, he's got to play with his back to goal a little bit. And he's got to try and receive that ball in less space. Now, I'm sure Paul Pogba can receive the ball in less space. But it's better if he's receiving the ball in more space. And he can do more with it. And he can drive that ball forward. And he can bring other people into the game. And it's easy for a defence to pick up one striker, a number 10, and then keep an eye on a couple of wingers. It's less easy for a defence to keep an eye on a number 9 who's as big and annoying as Zlatan is. A number 10, 2 wingers, 2 full-backs, and then you've got a midfielder coming through that can do what he wants and he's as deadly as he is with the ball. That's the sort of options that you end up getting with Paul Pogba. And then it leaves the defensive duties up just to them 3 players, doesn't it? As we mentioned before, Fellaini, Baye and Blind. And the pace worries me a little bit, although we have got pace in the full-backs. Fellaini and Blind, not the quickest. So I do want to see that. I do want to see Pogba carrying that ball like we saw against Southampton. He was an absolute joy to watch. Again, I knew he was good. I've been an admirer of Pogba since 2010. And seeing him as this matured, developed footballer that's actually still got quite a long way to go is wonderful to see, because the potential is there for everybody to see. Not just potential, but actual, real, raw ability. And it's fantastic to see because it's so exciting. Every time he get on the ball, he was doing something magic. He was doing little skills like it was nothing. I think Terry Henry might have said it, or it could have been Jamie Redknapp after I watched the post-match stuff on Sky on Friday night, and he said, it's just like the best kid in the playground just doing everything, isn't it? And that's what I like. And the correct it is, he was just doing everything. He was like, I guess what, I'm just going to... At the amount of times he found himself in shooting positions, absolutely mental. When did you see Michael Carrick doing that? When do you see Fellaini doing that from a 6 or 8 position? Even under Herrera, when he's played back there, you don't see our players doing that, which is why Paul Pogba has to play in that role, not as a number 10. Rooney, I'm not impressed with how he fits into this system. I don't think he's played poorly. I just don't think he plays correctly for this system. He might get it, might take a bit of time, he might not, and you might have to bring in Mkhitaryan or Matu. I think, on the face of things at least, could do that job better than Rooney's doing at the moment. I want to see Mkhitaryan on the right-hand side, just to freshen it up a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing Mata in the number 10. Let him pull those strings a little bit, because with the players around him and the options around him, I think he could find those passes. Marshall on the left. I don't think we're going to see a start yet from Memphis, but I do want to see minutes from Memphis. Obviously, wasn't on the bench last week. Do want to see him given the opportunity. If not him, I want to see Lingard given some sort of opportunity as well. And obviously, Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front. I mean, as I said, he is the key man in my preview this week. He has blown me away. Absolutely blown me away. I am all aboard the I love Zlatan bandwagon. Big time. Phenomenal. I knew he was a character. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he was as good as he's proving to be. So, there we go. That is the preview for this week. Thanks for watching. The Snapchat Q&A will be tomorrow. So, as soon as you finish watching this video, send us a Snapchat. And I'll get them answered tomorrow. I cocked up last week. Everyone sent the Snapchats in. And I took my phone with me, obviously. I took it to my dad's, where I was just going to do a little bit of work before then going on to onto the match. I didn't bring my iPad to record myself or read them off. So I cocked up, so I couldn't do anything with them. I was like, nice one. What do I do now? So the new rules is, if you want to send a Snapchat Q&A, my Snapchat is Mr. Stephen Howson. I'm Mr. Stephen Howson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. So that's where you can find me, Mr. Stephen Howson on Snapchat. Send me a question, but it has to be a video or it has to be a picture, drawing, photo, whatever. Can't just be a text question, because the last one that we did was over 500 questions, and I can't answer 500 questions, and a lot of them was very similar. So try and think outside the box. If you think, do you know what, someone's probably going to ask that, then ask something else. But I do appreciate the amount of questions coming in, and I do appreciate the amount of people wanting to know my thoughts on all those things. But 500 is absolutely nuts. So that's why we're going for. You've got to do a video, or you've got to do a picture or a drawing or something like that for your question. Now we are this close. We've not made it yet. I thought we might have made it. We should have made it. Probably around the match day, I reckon. Almost at 20k, so please hit that subscribe button. Big fat thumbs up. Share it. Share it with everybody if you like what to see, and I'll see you next week. I'll be back, actually. Snapchat review, Snapchat Q&A, review on Saturday, Sunday paper review. We're doing daily videos now, aren't we? We are well into the swing of things. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Laters.